It's the people who don't have money that like are the ones being like, oh, the bag. Yeah, you wish you had the bag. Mm-hmm. What does it say about somebody when they're like, I don't want the bag? So keep your bag.
I'm like, I'll take the bag. Give me the bag. You don't want it?
I'm like, keep your bag, mother.
Your mother passed away.
Yeah.
You're pregnant with Ruby. Shago is diagnosed with cancer, and you're going through a divorce. What is that even like?
Welcome to the No Podcast with me, Nikki Spo. Thanks to Sana Skin Studio for supporting the No Podcast. Sana is a skin studio that is shifting the relationship with your skin and your products through goal-driven facials, real guidance, and clean skincare. Stay tuned for our promo code so you can receive $25 off of your first facial at Sana Skin Studio.
Let's talk about your DMs. Are they popping
My DMs.
now that you're divorced?
My DMs are a little popping.
A little popping?
They're a little bit.
Do we have like blue check marks in your DMs? Like, do we have famous celebrities, basketball players, football players, athletes?
No athletes.
No athletes?
No, not anymore.
Okay. Anymore?
But they were never my DMs because like there wasn't Instagram back then.
So they were just in real life?
They were in the ball boys' ears.
You want to know how I know that's true? Because the ball boys would come to me.
I know, but I was a hard number to get.
I was like the ball boys
She was
messenger.
the ball boy plug. She was the plug to the.
I was.
I shouldn't even say that. She was the plug. You can't even say the plug to the because that sounds terrible.
No, yeah. No, I was the ball boy.
But you know what? Fuck that.
I was
You know
the
how many
ball
people
boy
get thrown under the bus? Fuck the ball boys.
I was the ball boys messenger.
What's the plug? What's that mean?
The connect.
The connect.
Why is that bad though?
Because are not supposed to talk to the players.
Or anybody.
Or anybody. Oh, this is great. Anyways.
What's funny is that there's not like a reverse rule.
Right.
Like, I wonder if that's in their contract. I don't know.
No, they are allowed to do whatever they want. So they do. And then we're not
that
allowed
was
to.
That was also back then. Like, I think that times are changed now. You look at like who had an affair with his partner for being with an employee, and that had severe ramifications. Like, I'm not here to knock their situation. I'm just saying that like times are different. Like the people in power do get in trouble.
You're right. That is happening now, but that didn't happen then.
No.
Only we would get in trouble. But we're going to get to that in a second because I'm not done asking you about dating.
I take her on a tangent. Okay, the DMs are there because look, I'm not on apps. I'm not on any apps.
Okay.
I don't want to be on apps.
They're not fun. I'm on them. So.
I don't like them. I don't even know them, but I don't want to live there.
Okay, so you're dating. Are we dating young guys, older guys our age?
I just don't discriminate on I'm not an ageist.
Okay. And do we have like a rotation going? Are we dating like one person?
Okay.
Like what's going on?
So people who are familiar with my show know that I interviewed this gentleman whose name is Evan Mark Katz, and he is a dating coach. And something that he said really stood out to me was that like women should be dating a bunch of people at the same time. Like you should have a harem of guys who are like trying to get to know you. And I want to, before I answer this question, because I think it's really important to differentiate, dating doesn't mean fucking. Dating doesn't mean sleeping with. Dating doesn't mean hooking up with everybody. It just so happens that a lot of women are out there doing that and a lot of men are out there doing that. So when I say dating, if I'm dating a bunch of people, if I'm getting to know people, yes, I am getting to know a bunch of people. Like, I think it's really important to also clarify that like dating doesn't mean sleeping with. And obviously, like, since I'm looking for a legitimate future with someone, why are you going to give a man like girlfriend benefits without being a girlfriend? And that's another thing I think, like something that some of my other girlfriends, you and I have probably talked about it too. Something that I started talking about is like, nobody is your boyfriend until he demonstrates with his actions and with his words that he wants you to be his girlfriend. Like if he does not call you his girlfriend loudly and doesn't want to be your boyfriend, like it's anybody's game. It's anybody's game. Like if you are not saying, if a man will come take you off the market when he wants to take you off the market, 100%, he's going to be like, I do not want her with anybody else. And it also has to work on the flip side too. Like, I don't want to see anybody else. If that conversation is not had, and I do believe that it should be initiated by the man, like cringe city is like, what are we? When the woman has to be like, what are we? Bitch, I'm not asking you what we are. because I'm getting to know all these lovely people who have CEO energy, who want to be in the game.
But
with
you know
me.
what I am okay with?
What?
I'm not okay with what are we? It gives
Like, why
I've
does
been
he
there.
get to decide?
It gets insecure. What I am okay with is stating what I desire,
Yeah.
what I want out of this relationship. And if you're not willing to give me that or meet me there, or you're not interested in
Put your
that,
ass in
let
a
me know,
box.
because then I can go elsewhere.
Well, yeah, I think, and I also think that in dating, women are really scared to be like, this is what I want.
Right.
Because they want to
Yeah.
like lure the person in who like actually has commitment issues and blah, blah, blah. And then they wind up thinking like, well, if I just hang out with him a little longer, he'll change. Or maybe if I sleep with him enough, he'll eventually want to be my girlfriend. Girl, no.
I know, because
That's why-
been my whole past.
Well, that's why I'm like, when I interviewed this dating coach, I was like, oh, I actually took a break from boys. I was like, from men. I'm like, I need to think some things through, figure out what I want, and also like get to know people and really have my future foundation be based on that. And that's not to say that I don't think that physical chemistry is super important, because I do think that it's super important. I love physical chemistry. Like, I'm here for all that. I think that it keeps relationships alive, maybe sometimes a lot longer, like past their expiration date. I think I've heard that so many times.
Yeah.
You know, physical chemistry is absolutely important, but like if you're gonna play the long game, I think like you have to be compatible. And so, am I dating? Yes. To answer your question, yes. And I'm also like, I don't have an age discrimination. I'm not even gonna say I've dated. I've met and had the privilege of getting to know men younger than me, older than me, you know, all of it. And
How young are we talking here?
I'm uncomfortable.
Good.
I mean, guys of all ages, they have courage. Some of them are.
Stop beating around the bush and tell me how young.
Can we just talk about age differences instead? Like, you know, okay, I will say
Give me a
that
range, a low to high number.
I would say 29 is the youngest person who
That's not that young.
who has approached me that I've actually like been like, could I go on a date with this person?
What's the top number?
The oldest at this point, 51.
Okay.
I'm 37.
So let's talk about that, shall we? Let's talk about age differences in romantic relationships, because as long as I've known you to love older men. So how do you feel about that?
I have a lot of feelings about that.
Let's hear them all.
Okay, so I have daddy issues, or I had them,
Don't
right?
we all?
I had mommy issues and
Don't-
daddy issues.
don't we all?
I had a lot of issues.
know.
But okay, so yes, as long as mind you, like we've known each other again since I was 18 years old,
Yeah.
and I was in a relationship when we met with an older man. Who was not my ex-husband, right? Like, because I've had more than one relationship in my life, you guys. Like,
Right.
so, but you remember that relationship?
I do.
Do you remember his name? Say it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So I met though when I was 17, and he was 32. Like, let's pause for a moment, because
Yeah,
like,
let's pause for a moment.
and that situation was like he was definitely in a position of power, and I wasn't, and it was fucking illegal, you know. And so there's that, and so, but even before that, like I would be in 8th grade, and I would have high school boys after me and stuff like that, and so I was so independent when I was growing up, because of my mom's alcoholism and my dad being at the fire department, like I was the one who had to lock up my house and make sure I ate, and I'm an only child, and so like I really took care of myself, but I also took care of my mom, and so I had a very loud disrespect for authority, right? But because I had to grow up so fast, I was very precocious, and I didn't relate to the boys my age, and so I was like, "Oh, you're a grown up. I have a crush on you."
Do you think it like subconsciously was like, I am looking for someone to take care of me because I'm tired of taking care of myself?
Yeah, for sure.
I have that too.
Yeah, so there's that. There's also like with my history of sexual abuse, that I've talked about this with my therapist, because like when I think about the relationship I had with when I was 17 and the man was 32, like there's nothing you could have told me that would have made me feel like it was inappropriate at the time.
Yeah.
Like I was like, we love each other. He loves me. Like he for sure does. And even till this day, like I don't have a lot of trauma around that relationship. I believe that he loved me and I believe that I loved him. And I can also objectively be like, he should have said no because I pursued him.
It's not the trauma that relationship brought you. It's the trauma that led you to that relationship.
Okay, right. So so with my history of sexual abuse, what I talked to my therapist about was like, I was trying to do something like when I was sexually abused, that was wrong, right? This was also wrong, but I was in control or I thought I was in control. Like it was like going to happen on my terms and I was going to make it happen. So I went and hit on that man,
How long were you in a relationship with him?
I was with him for 2 years.
Okay.
So from 17 to 19.
Was it a secret relationship?
Yeah, it was a secret relationship.
Was it a secret relationship on both parts? Like you wanted it to be secret or he asked you to?
I think that our family members knew, but it wasn't publicly open, like this is my boyfriend, this is my girlfriend, because it wasn't socially acceptable. And now we have a theme.
Yeah, is that the only time you've been in a secret relationship?
No.
What do you think makes you or has made you an energetic match for being in secret relationships?
Oh my gosh, my self-worth, my sense of self-worth. Like thinking at the time, like thinking that I was less than, thinking that I didn't deserve to be held up, like believing that
Fully chosen,
right? Like believing that I am like lower than or like just not good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I had those deep feelings, of course, and you like think about how a person grows up, right? If I felt not good enough growing up, like then that transferred into all of my romantic relationships for a while too.
Yeah. Do you feel like at first it kind of starts off like fun and exciting that it's a secret, and then at some point it turns into like,
why aren't you choosing me?
Why aren't you choosing me?
Yeah, definitely.
Isn't that crazy how that happens?
It is, yeah. Definitely starts off as fun and exciting. Like it's just a rush. There's like adrenaline in it. You're doing something you're not supposed to be doing, Yeah, that's why I don't date married dudes and never have.
I was gonna ask you that.
You were gonna ask me. So, yeah, I've never dated a married guy. I'm such a girl's girl. Like, I've been approached by married men.
Yeah.
And I tell them to back off, like get your shit together at home, like leave your wife before you even think about come talking to me, or fix your fucking marriage. Like
Facts.
Like, and I don't think a lot of women do that. I think that a lot of women are okay with it's not my problem.
Yeah.
I just, for whatever reason, like even though like I've had secret relationships in my past, like married guys is not one of them.
That's not the secret.
That's
not
not
the
it.
secret kind of relationship.
I'm also like not into that.
Yeah. I mean, like now in hindsight, no secret relationship is the kind we
not.
want to be in, but like definitely not that kind.
Well, also like I have this theory about like guys, for me, like even if you can take my man, you can have him. If my man is snatchable, take him.
Snatch him.
Take him. I don't want that.
Snatch that.
Take it
from me, please.
Take it from
By
me.
all means.
So like I
that.
don't want to snatch anybody. I don't want to snatch people.
Yeah.
I want
If you could snatch him, then somebody can snatch him from you.
Right. But yeah, like and as far as like when I've been in relationships, I'm like if he's takeable,
Take him.
take him.
Yeah. I'm going to switch gears here a little.
Okay.
Can we talk about the Miami Heat?
I love the Miami Heat.
I know, me too. But do you still love the Miami Heat? Are you still a Heat fan?
I am still such a Heat fan. I had my own memories with Miami Heat. Like we had so many amazing memories. All the trips that we went on.
Many.
All the people used to ask me like closer like when I stopped dancing. What was your favorite part about being a Miami Heat dancer? And it wasn't necessarily like the performance or the rush that I would get. And although I really liked those things, I really loved the locker room and like the camaraderie and the sisterhood of it. And I've made some of my best friends in my life, that are still my friends to this day. And I miss like,
Hello.
yeah, like I miss like doing our makeup together and learning how to do our hair and like talking shit and just like the banter that would
Being
go back
like,
and forth.
who depoed my shit?
And I would, oh my God, I thought everybody stole my stuff.
Listen, we in the locker rooms would have our little suitcases with all of our, we had to bring specific costumes for specific games. And like clockwork, every single game, Nikki would lose something.
I would lose something.
Of some piece of a costume. And she would yell to the entire locker room, who depoed my shit? Basically, like, who stole my shit?
Boot.
Who stole my
I always say shit.
Or my
we
costume.
call it shit because like I said it so many times that like we needed a generic name for all of the things, but I'd be like, who deballed my boot?
And the truth is
was in my
that
suitcase.
nobody ever stole her stuff. It was in her suitcase somewhere. She just didn't take enough time to look for it.
I had 3 jobs,
She
babe.
swore that people were just out here purposefully stealing her stuff.
Maybe, yeah.
Anyways,
I always had it.
That's a good like
That
locker
was a
room
good
memory.
Yeah, that was a good locker room memory. I mean, there's so many, but I think that that's what I love the most. And so, do I love the Miami Heat? I think that people think like there's certain parts of it that are hard because as much as I had my own experience with the Miami Heat from before as being a dancer, I never was actually a basketball girly. Like I was there just to dance and make friends and stuff like that. So I learned a lot about basketball later. You know, like not as a Miami Heat dancer, because I think one year, Janine, this was like the year that Pat Riley took over from Stan Van Gundy's position. And I'll never forget it. We were at a practice and they did a pop quiz. Like Janine was our dance team coach. And so she was like, okay, these 5 questions. And one of them was like, who's the head coach of the Miami Heat at the time? And that was to be fair, it's a trick question because it was Stan Van Gundy and then it became Pat Riley. And that was my first year. I didn't know shit about basketball, but I'm like, I don't know. They're like, who is the tallest player on the team? It might have been like Shaquille O'Neal at the time. I'm like, I don't know. I like failed the quiz. Like I legit knew nothing of basketball.
I think I passed with flying colors.
Of course. Jamie, yes, you did.
I was
pass
just
with
a
flying.
little like,
You're a basketball girly,
I was.
you know?
Yeah.
In all the ways.
In all the ways.
So whatever. I did not know anything about basketball back then. And then obviously like I came to learn a lot about basketball. And then I also like basketball's role in my life became a lot different. Like so my investment in basketball and the Miami Heat became so different, right? Because it was part of ultimately my livelihood. And like the way I would go to games was different. Like I didn't even want to bring people to games that like if you didn't take it seriously, I was like, you can't come. Like you need to understand.
Listen, one time you brought me to a game and we lost and you were like, you're not allowed to come back anymore. Like
that's something I would
was
say.
the bad luck all of a sudden.
You were the bad luck.
But then I came back and we won. So like,
Right, no, but it was always
Fuck
like
that.
a thing. Like who would
I
come
know.
to the games? Because it was all like, I became like very like invested as I should have been. And so now I guess I'm in a phase where I'm like detaching, right? Like I don't have to have anxiety at the games anymore. I don't have to have anxiety watching the games anymore because like it doesn't affect me in that way in like my day to day. But I still love the Miami Heat. I love the memories because I've had 17 years of memories with the Miami Heat if you count them all.
yeah. I mean, the organization itself is like family. I loved being there. I still love them even when we go back. Like everyone is just so loving.
They
and
are so
supportive.
wonderful. And I'm so grateful. Like, you know, I got to have beautiful mentors like Madeline Harrison and Chris Riley that I got to sit on the board of the Miami Heat Charitable Fund with that like I really look up to them. And, you know, they're such powerhouse women. And I'm so grateful that I got to have like my Heat dancer experience, you know, and then have a seat on the board with the Miami Heat Charitable Fund. And it's all good and it's all love.
That's so cool.
Yeah. And my kids are obsessed, obviously, with the Miami Heat.
So can we talk about your ex-husband?
Pass.
No pass. How'd you meet?
You tell me.
Me and Sharina, aka she was my bestie on the team. And
Y'all two were the plugs for real though.
we were a little rebellious, you know, like we were not allowed to talk to players or be friends with them or date them or anything. And we didn't date them, but we were friends with all of them. Like, first of all, okay.
Friends?
Friends. Like truly friends.
Okay.
I swear, truly friends.
Okay.
Like we would see them at the club. They would invite us to the table,
Well, that's what
get
was
us
hard
drinks.
about it back then. Everybody would be in the same place. I mean, I'm sure it is the same now.
Yes.
But whatever.
And like back in the day, okay, back in our time, like going to the clubs in Miami was like such a thing. It was such a time. And after every game that we would win, we would go out to the club and we were there, the players were there, everyone was celebrating. And honestly, it was like so friendly. Like she and I can't speak for everyone, but she and I became friends with everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's that.
Yeah. And that was that.
And that was that.
So really, we're going to pass on that?
No comment.
No comment. Ladies and gentlemen, she wants to pass. Well then, where shall we go next?
All right, guys, let's take a quick break so I can thank our sponsor, Sauna Skin Studio, with their OG location in Wynwood and their additional locations in Fort Lauderdale and Coconut Grove. Okay, so the best way I can describe sauna is that it feels like coming home. Unlike traditional facials, Sana's facials are rooted in education, and I love this so much. Every experience I have had at Sana has been a chance for me to learn more about my skin and its needs. I love that the facials are effective while also being accessible enough to be a monthly ritual rather than a yearly splurge. This is why the Sana membership is so great. I'm honored to be able to provide our audience with a promo code. Use the code THENOGLOW for $25 off of your first facial when booking at sanaskinstudio.com and additional incentives if you book a membership. I have absolutely loved my skin healing journey with Sana Skin Studio.
Here's where we're going to go. You sure you want to pass?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know.
Oh gosh, I'm nervous. My cheeks hurt. Go.
I want to know, have you been in love since your divorce?
That's a really good question.
I know.
I wouldn't say that I've been in love, like romantically, like I am in love. However, I tell all my friends that I'm in love. The group chat is like, girlies, I am in love.
And
with
this is
capital
me.
letters. And what does Jamie say?
This is me. Yeah. Okay.
You're like, bitch, shut the fuck up.
Bitch, please.
So I love everybody. You know what? No, I don't properly think that I have been in love. Like, wow, like this feels like home to me, and this feels like peace, and this feels like I want to be here for a long time. Not that kind of love. But I will say that dating since divorce has revealed to me that I still have a huge capacity for love. Like, it did not ruin me. So like, I don't think you can see it on this camera here, but I have a beaded piece of artwork there and it says, it did not ruin her. And I think that like as much hardship as I went through between 2020 to 24 really, but big hitting between 22 when my son was sick and my mom died and I was pregnant and I'm doing all of that stuff. Like despite all of that and then ultimately getting divorced late last year, I'm so pleasantly surprised by myself that I have a huge capacity for love.
That's
still.
beautiful.
Yeah, like because when I meet people, I'm just so happy to meet people. Like even if it doesn't work out or even if I'm like, oh, that's not for me, or whatever, I'm like, I know that I have it in me still. And that makes me feel really hopeful about my future.
There's something so cool also about learning yourself and experiencing yourself through new people.
Yeah.
In this like version of you post divorce where you've like really poured into yourself and learned to love yourself more and like getting to practice that on new
for sure.
people. It's like so rewarding.
Yeah, it's really cool. And also being like, that's okay for this not to be it, like, right? And I also think that I'm just like generally in like a really good place because it's like I have 3 kids, right? Like I'm 37 years old. I'm not in a rush to do anything. So like I have all day. Like what people are really competing with is my peace, right? Like I'm so peaceful here by myself that I'm like, if like you're not adding to that peace, like I'm good.
I'm so good.
I'm good.
Yeah. What is that like dating with 3 kids?
Well, fortunately, like I have, I think people sleep. I say this and it sounds so messed up, but I mean it in like the most sincere, nicest way is that like for those people, I'm not encouraging divorce, but for those people who choose that will be the best path for their family, like it's underrated because you get to drop your kids off at their other parents' house and have some time to yourself.
I heard that a lot.
Let me tell you, like 3 kids, 6 and under is a lot of fucking work. It's a lot of work. So like as much as I miss my kids when they're not with me, I'm like, whew, okay, now I have time to work on my podcast and work on my business and which campaigns am I working on and maybe take some downtime for myself. Really be consistent this week about going to the gym when I want to go to the gym and like all of these things and be able to go on dates and meet people. Like, so I think where it gets tricky is like if you're dating somebody with kids and then you start to get to a point where maybe you're like wanting to spend more time together and
Your schedules have to align.
the schedule of like, right. So then there's days we have to get a sitter and I'm like, I don't really want to get a sitter on the night that I have my kids because I want to be with my kids. Like I am a very involved mother. So I don't really want to get a sitter on the nights that I have my kids, like unless I know that it's going to be meaningful or add value to my life.
Yeah.
And also like after my kids go to bed at 7:30, so like they're gonna be sleeping. Like it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Have you introduced anyone that you were dating, any boyfriends, any new boyfriends to your kids?
No, I haven't introduced any boyfriends to my kids. Like I've been in
But you've
settings,
had boyfriends?
I wouldn't call anybody, I wouldn't say that I've had a boyfriend.
Serious daters.
I've had, that.
Okay. And you have not introduced them to your kids?
No, there have been people where I'm like, everybody goes to like the same park type thing. And it's like a very, very big group setting where like, have they met my kids? And I'm like, hey, this is so-and-so, like say hi, whatever. There's been scenarios like that. But to me, that is not in any way like me introducing my kids to a boyfriend.
Yeah. What do you think it would have to take in order for you to introduce your kids to someone new?
Michelle Dempsey Multack is a woman that I follow, and I hosted her on the show before, and she talks about like the importance of introducing people you're dating to your children. And I think it's like a really tricky thing because on one end, I don't want my kids to just see a bunch of like dudes. You know what I mean? Like they don't get to meet every person that I'm considering dating. But at the same time, like getting an idea of how somebody will interact with my kids is also very important. Like what I think something that happens too when you're co-parenting or not co-parenting, when you're dating with children is like you have this life that is completely separate from them, right? So this happened when I dated somebody younger than me who did not have kids. It's like the only time we would hang out was when I didn't have my kids. So for what it's worth, it was all like me just a regular single girly when that is not my life.
Yeah.
Like that looks like vacation mode of my life.
Yeah.
Like my life is a lot more than that. And so being able to like blend the two, I think it's intimidating for me. I haven't done it. Like I said, I haven't done that. I've also dated people who have kids where I'm like, okay, should the kids meet each other? Like we've thought about like, should our kids meet each other? Should there be that? Ultimately, that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
And probably for the best, to be frank.
Cross the bridge when you get there.
Yeah, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. But I do think it's really important that if I feel like somebody is right for me, that they do vibe with my kids because they're non-negotiable. We're a package deal, and ultimately they will come first.
Yeah. Facts. Do you want more kids?
It's wild because I never wanted kids. Like I didn't want to have any kids. And then I had 3 kids. My first 2 pregnancies were not planned. My third pregnancy was actually planned. Like in this, all things considered, she was planned. I happen to love being a mom now. I think part of me not wanting to have kids was that I was so scared of becoming a mom. And now I just really love being a mom. And I would have all the kids in the world, but I do not ever want to be pregnant again. So I would want to have a surrogate, and I would also want my kids, like kids are expensive, man. Like kids are a lot. And you think about like the quality of life you want to live. And I don't care how this sounds, like you can call me superficial. You guys are calling me worse things out there anyway. But like, I want to make sure that if I were to bring another human into this world, that I would be able to fully provide for them at the level that I want to.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's wrong. No. I'm also not pressed to have children.
Yeah.
Like I have
3.
And something that's crazy is that like I remember when my third pregnancy was being planned. I remember thinking, okay, I'm 34 years old. If I don't have kids, if I don't get pregnant by the time I'm 35, then like I'm done. I have 2 healthy children. I'm done. Like I have so much to be grateful for. I don't need more kids, but it would be nice too. And so the third pregnancy was in the planning, there was trying for the third pregnancy and I got pregnant. And so this theory of like, I have 2 healthy, beautiful kids all of a sudden became, I actually don't have 2 healthy, beautiful kids. I'm pregnant with my third, but one of my healthy, beautiful kids is no longer healthy.
Yeah, I want to talk about that.
And that was really scary.
Yeah, I want to talk about that time in your life because
I don't think I remember a lot of it.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you do.
On my end.
Yeah.
Your mother passed away.
Yeah.
You're pregnant with Ruby. Shago is diagnosed with cancer and you're going through a divorce. Like, what is that even like?
I think that my life, right, especially before I got sober, was so dysregulated for so long, right? From the time that I was a kid through my adolescence, through these like series of secret relationships I had been in, through like the destabilization of being kicked out of my home and having to all of a sudden like find a way to survive, right? And when I remember somebody online was like, "What? This bitch hasn't had to survive shit." And I'm like,
Survival
"You all don't
mode.
even know." Like, but I've been in survival mode for a long time.
Emotionally, if anything, you know?
If anything, emotionally, yeah. So I think that like by the time I got sober, I was just like really searching to regulate my life.
And to add on top of all of that, you were sober.
Well, yeah, right. Like I didn't
And,
have
like,
like an escape
Not
route.
not super like not super brand new sober, but like also not like a lot of skin in the game sober.
Yeah,
You know
not
what
a lot
I
of
mean?
skin in
So
the
it's
game.
like something that you're
Yeah.
also struggling with.
Fortunately,
on top
I was
of it all.
pregnant, so I was like, I never drank. So like I was an alcoholic, you know, and I used recreational drugs and stuff like that. But I never, through any of my pregnancies, drank while I was pregnant. So I did have that like kind of like crutch where I was like, because I was going through all that stuff at the same time, but I was also pregnant. So like even
Thank God.
thank God,
You know?
truly
Kept you sober.
that did keep me sober because I don't know. Like, what if I wasn't pregnant? What if I would have caved? I have no idea. So like, I think that God works in mysterious ways. And so this perfect storm just happened in my life where I like had this huge reckoning where I'm like, this is it. This is my one life.
Yeah.
And so what was that like? I don't know because I think that I was just like literally putting one foot in front of the other every single day and just like trying to like find the joy where I could and also like be happy for my kids and make sure that they didn't feel the effects of me losing my mom. I tried really hard to make sure that the family wasn't deeply affected by my son having cancer, you know, and losing his hair and adding a new baby to the mix and like the effects of like learning how to navigate a very new life.
Yeah.
So I don't like it all seems kind of like a blur. Like when I look back, it's like very blurry. I'm like, I don't know. I don't remember a lot.
I just remember feeling like no one should have to endure so much at one time.
Yeah.
It's like feels like too much of a weight for one person to carry at one time. It's one thing if like your mom dies and you deal with that and then you go through a divorce and you deal with that and then your kid has cancer and you deal with that and then you're pregnant and you deal with that.
Like they're all big on their own.
They're so big on their own. And to put them in the same time frame all at the same time while also like just regular emotional shit that we're always going through and learning to feel worthy and learning to love ourselves and learning to pour into ourselves and just the regular trauma that we deal with on a regular basis mixed with all of that is just like too much for one person to endure.
Too much. It's too much. And so, you know, like there's the saying of like God gives the toughest battles to the ones who are strongest. Like, honey, she's done. I'm done.
Yeah. But as an outsider looking in and someone who's so close to you and witnessing you from like an outside perspective, I could see at the time that like this was the like unraveling of your life that needed to happen in order for you to heal in the way that you needed to heal, become the version of yourself that you needed to be and live the life that you're meant to live, you know? It's like,
Thank you.
yeah. I feel like anytime I've ever gotten to like a great point in my life, like shit has had to fall apart. Never to that extent, but that just might be what the way you needed it to happen to really like wake you up and really make you do the deep healing.
Yeah.
Because also what I know about you is like you've been healing and I'm just calling you out as a friend because I love you and you know this too and we've had these conversations, but like you have done a lot of healing for a long time, but there was also like a wall that you would hit in your healing where you were like, I know the things, I'm aware of the things, but I don't want to heal the things. I don't want to go through the actual process of like healing the things. Like, can someone just fix it
Like
for me?
intellectually, I get it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yep, intellectually, I get it. I've heard it. I know all the therapy talk. Got
Yeah,
it.
you're like, can someone just snap your fingers and fix this for me?
I wanted
Like,
everybody
can it
else to
just
like
be
make the
healed?
decision for me. I wanted everybody to like,
Can I just be healed already?
you just, yeah.
You know, and so I feel like this was the thing that made you have to
Have
heal.
to face the things.
Have to go deep and like actually heal, which is like what you needed, you know, to be able to be where you're at now, which is what? Where are you at now? How do we feel?
Peaceful. She has peace. Like, I feel free. I feel peaceful. I feel happy. Like, I feel like most days are happy, you know?
That makes me so happy because as your friend, I know how many unhappy days there were.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I was not about me, but like I've been there for you and supported you
Yeah.
through the unhappy days.
No,
and
you have.
There were many, you know? So for me to hear you say that and see it and witness it and experience your happiness is like, makes me happy.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been cool to live life on this in this way. And like, I'm tired of being strong, you know? Like, I already know that I'm strong.
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm just like, and it's funny because like,
Don't make me exercise that anymore. Like,
I'm like,
we know that I have that quality. I don't want to
have the
exercise
quality.
it.
I'm good. But I think about like my future and I'm like, I want a life that is easy. And that's not to say that I don't work hard. I work hard as fuck. Like, that's not to say that I'm entitled. I'm not entitled. I know that I'm not. But I do want a life that is full of peace and ease and grace and that is more easy than hard.
I feel like a lot of people on the outside looking in could hear you say that and be like, bitch, your life has been easy.
Yeah, I know.
You know, because they see the financial aspect of it. What do you have to say to those people?
Well, it's not about, like, people don't really know the full thing. Like, I've always had my own money. I've always provided for myself. And like I always say, like, money's in the bag. I want to go back to dating for a second. It's like, I've dated some like normal income guys, right? I've dated some like normal, regular income guys. And I've dated guys that have no money at all. And I've dated guys that have a lot of money, right? And I will say, like, I've now come to this new quote that I'm like living by now. It's like, I'm easy to please, but hard to impress. Like, I dated a guy once who was like, I have the G-Wagon and I have the sports car and I have the yacht and I'm at every party and I get invited to, and I'm just like, that's so cool, bro. Like, I'm not the type of girl you can just like dangle a carrot in front of and be like, I'm going to be like, oh, there's a carrot. Like, duh.
But how are you going to make me feel? How is life going to be for us?
Right. Like, do I feel safe here? Do I feel like I can be myself? Is it the be more you vibe? You know? And so I've also been with men who like don't have as much money, but like they bring me like an immense amount of peace, right? Like, because guess what? The bag isn't always money. I know that, like, you know what? That's something that people don't have money say. I'm just going to go out there and say it.
Yeah.
It's the people who don't have money that like are the ones being like, oh, the bag. Yeah, you wish you had the bag. What does it say about somebody when they're like, I don't want the bag? Keep your bag.
I'm like, I'll take the bag. Give me the bag. You don't want it?
I'm like, keep your bag, you know, like, come on. Because that's not it. Like, like, that's not it.
I know.
That's not it. It's part of it. And it's nice. Like, look, if all guys are going to be assholes, like, maybe you should be with an asshole who has money. Fine. But like, how is that asshole making you feel ultimately?
Yeah. And
I don't care.
I think that's a limiting belief to say that all guys are assholes. I feel like I used to
know,
have
but people say that.
I know, but I'm just calling it out as limiting belief because I used to have it too. Like, all guys
we've
are
talked
this.
about this too.
Like, guys, and it's like I'm choosing now to believe that like there's an abundance of amazing, safe, powerful, emotionally supportive men out there.
Okay, I 100% agree. So it's been hard for me to be like no.
I haven't found them yet, but they're there. I'm believing that
they're there.
exist.
No, and they are, because let me tell you something. Like, I've met not that I've chosen to like have a long-term anything with anybody yet, but like, I've met such great men. I've met such good men, and some of my friends who've been single for a while are like, how do you meet these guys? And I'm like, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
They're everywhere. It's like the limiting belief of like they're not there is like really keeping you from seeing guys that are like really high quality men.
Truly.
But they don't. And I think that we need to like throw away like the checklist. Like, the checklist needs to go. Like, you can have an idea of what it is, but realize that it might not come in the packaging that you think it's going to come in.
Yeah. I've chosen more to focus on how I want to feel,
Right.
on how I want men to feel around men. And the minute I switched my limiting belief around men to like believe that there are emotionally safe, mature, spiritually safe, supportive men out there, I've found them. Again, not ones that like I want to spend my life with, but like, holy shit, you exist. Holy shit, you have held space for me in a way I've never been able to have someone hold space for me before.
Totally.
Holy shit, you exist. And it was because I decided to believe that they did.
Well, I think there were also, I mean, I don't remember if it was you who told me this, but like, we're at the Build-A-Bear shop, right? Like, oh, I like what you have. You know, these other things don't really work for me. That's cool. Like, but you have this one quality that I didn't realize that was important to me, right? And then I meet somebody else and I'm like, oh, that's another quality I didn't think about. That, wow, that is really important to me. And, or it makes me reflect on like something that I used to have in a relationship that I'm like, oh yeah, that was a really great aspect of that person that I want to have that. I don't think that you have to like say, well, I have to sacrifice one thing to have the other. I think that like you can have most of the things that you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know, and it just might not look exactly how you think it's going to look.
Yeah.
But that it's there.
Yeah. I believe we can have it all when it comes to how we want to feel.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Like we can't have it all. Because you know that one of my favorite sayings is like you can have anything, but you can't have everything. But I do agree with you that like when it comes to feeling how you want to feel, you can't have it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just booked a trip to Mexico. Do you want to come?
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm down. When?
I'm not going to tell them when I'm going to be in Mexico.
Okay. Before we go,
Yeah.
I want to know, what do you want people to know about you that they might not know about you?
That I don't know shit, man. Like seriously, like the show is going to be called Nikki Spo Knows, right?
Nothing. Nikki Spo knows nothing.
Nikki Spo knows nothing.
Jack shit.
Jack shit. But so because the show was going to be called Nikki Spo Knows, I was just like, no, like that's actually false. I don't know anything. And so the show is called The Know because it's not about that. It's about like coming to know yourself. So like I'm not out here trying to be like an expert on anything.
Yeah.
I'm not an expert. I'm not an expert on anything. I'm not trying to like pretend I know the things. And that's why I struggle so hard with my solo episodes. And I wanted to create this space where the audience could maybe get a glimpse into a little bit more of who I am as a person. I also, you know what? They don't know about me. I'm funny.
You are funny.
I am low-key funny, but like I'm niche funny. Like I have a niche.
You have to have a taste.
Like you have to have a taste
For
for
her
what, like for my
funniness.
humor, but I'm really fucking funny. And like there's a part of me that also wants to pursue a career in stand-up comedy.
Honestly, I think you could kill it.
Right?
Yeah. I'd come.
Yeah, you would.
Don't,
that would be the name of the
don't use
call.
me in your jokes.
That would be the name of my show is You'd Come.
That's so good.
Drop the cards. I didn't get to interview anybody, but
I'm like, Ace of Swords.
oh my gosh.
No, can you read my
She
cards
gotta-
though?
Okay, now we have to pick up sticks. This is my favorite card. This is my favorite card. It's called the Star. You want me to read your cards? They all have
Yeah.
to be facing the same direction.
Give me a little reading.
Okay.
They do?
Yeah, like don't. I keep mine the same direction because I don't do upside down cards.
Oh,
Yeah, sorry.
putting me to work. Ugh. The
Natural deodorant.
The natural deodorant is
No,
just like,
I definitely. Can we show that,
yes,
please?
please.
So if anybody like just some downtime, like if anybody's transitioning from regular deodorant to natural deodorant, it takes a while.
God, it's just
Your
like,
body like needs to go through this like really stinky process. Apparently Jamie smells right now. I'm not gonna get too close to her, but
I don't
I
like
like this is like not even a financial plug. They should totally sponsor me because I'm gonna shout them out. But it's called Routine and it comes in that little pot. I might have an extra one to give you.
you gave me one.
It didn't work?
They all work until they
this
don't.
one really works. This one really works. It's like a paste.
All right, I need to commit to it.
You do need to commit to it because what happens is then you start like using the regular deodorant again because you're like, I need a day of not smelling, right? Like I really can't smell for this one thing that I'm doing. Like I'm going out on a date tonight and I need my armpits not to smell or something like that.
Yeah, I do that. I'm like,
Right, you're like,
I'm
so
not going to
we're
put you
gonna-
through this, so
right.
we're going to do regular for
So you just
today.
need to trust the process and go through it. 'cause
Or I
then
just
you
need to
start-
take like multiple showers in a day from now on.
I also do that.
Sometimes I do a good little like wipey and reapply.
Yeah, that's good.
Good.
I mean, you wouldn't
Like a
serve
whole-
up
like a whole
you wouldn't
bath.
serve up stinky pussy.
Yeah, it's like a little whole bath.
Yeah. Why would you serve up stinky pits?
Yeah. Anywho.
Are you dating anyone? Have you ever dated a player?
What?
I said, have you ever dated
This interview
a
is
player?
about you, my love. This
wanna
is
tell
all
them?
about you. Today we are focusing on our girl Nikki, giving her the spotlight, making sure she feels seen.
ever
heard,
player?
Understood. It's all about you, babe. Not about me.
I don't know.
You can interview
People
me
wanna
another
know.
day.
The people want to know.
You can interview me another day. And I'll give you my list of questions not to ask.
Fine. Okay, I'm gonna just do a little.
Should we take like a deep breath together?
Yeah, let's take a deep breath.
Right, in.
How do I look while I'm taking a deep breath? Because my eyes are closed and I really want to know. Do I look pretty?
Beautiful.
Okay, good.
Like an angel.
Like, really? Like an angel?
Close your eyes. Now pull my cards.
How vain? Oh my gosh! Yes. Was that timed? Did you time that? No. Did you?
Okay, the fog machine is like giving me showgirl vibes because every music video, every dance performance.
No, this is perfect. It's like
has
this
had
is so witchy right now.
fog machine. It's giving witchy. It's giving showgirl. It's giving all the things
No, but
we
did
are.
you like? Did you just press the button on purpose, or did that? Okay, good. Okay, we did it on purpose. Good. Okay, so in tarot there's like sometimes there's like specific spreads, like a past, present, future spread. I have my own spread that I do and I ask specific questions. So I did like a little prayer over the cards and basically I like pray to the God that I understand as God,
Yep.
saying to like just make me a conduit, like a messenger, like I'm just a messenger.
Yep.
So the first question I always ask is, what does Jamie need to see? What does Jamie need to see? Or what do I need to see? In this case, obviously to you. So what does Jamie need to see? The second card I pull is, what is this about? The third card is, what is the course of action that I should take?
Okay.
And the fourth card,
I should take.
you. And the fourth card is, what is the potential final outcome if this
take that
action
action.
is, yeah.
I love that.
Okay. So what do we need to see? What is it about? What action should be taken? And what's the potential final outcome if you take that action? So there are major arcana cards, which are kind of like the big hitting events in your life. And then there are minor arcana cards, which are more like day-to-day things that might be going on. So when I asked, what does Jamie need to see? We pulled the major arcana card called Strength. Okay, and in this card, she's like pulling the lion's head mouth open. And the thing about Strength is that she is the one controlling the lion. She is taming the lion, if anything. Okay, so this card, it's pretty obvious, but this is a major arcana card. And so it is like a big event in your life, theoretically, that would require strength for. But you see, that's why so what do you need to see? You need to see strength right now.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
But what is it about? Like in
what area of my life?
In what area of your life? This is something intellectual that's happening because it's in the suit of swords. It's this 7 of swords is what we picked. And this card has a lot to do with deceit. Okay. So you might need to be having, and I don't know what is going on in your life. And it's not necessarily like malicious deceit, like somebody's really intentionally trying to harm you, but something that is not real.
Can I chime in?
Yeah.
Because I already can feel like what it can pertain to for me.
Okay. So you have an idea in your head of what it is.
Yeah. Do you want me to share?
You can.
Okay. I think it's like my limiting beliefs.
Okay.
They're lies.
They're lies.
They're not the ultimate truth.
Right.
And I'm in the process of like having a lot of strength to overcome limiting beliefs that have been so strong and potent for so many years that it's taking a lot of strength for me to overcome them and these lies I've been telling myself my whole life.
Okay, so there you go, right? So you have this in your mind of like, this is what it is. I require strength for this deceit, and it's your own self-deceit.
My own deceit, yes.
It's your own deceit. Okay, great. Now, what is the course of action? This is one of my favorite cards in the tarot deck, and it's an archetype that I identified with for a long time, and it is the exact reason why I have the dagger, the sword, tattooed on me, is that this is the Queen of Swords. This is, to me, she's the baddest bitch in the deck. So, like, I identified as the Queen of Swords for so long because she is wisdom, she is intelligent, she is quick. She is the bitch you want on your team, but you would never want to go up against. So like, that's how I see myself. I'm like, you want me on your team. You don't want to go up against me. No. That's this energy that you need to embody up against these deceitful lies.
Literally what you just said, this is the energy that I need to embody that I'm stepping into, truly.
Okay. I mean, woo-woo or is it woo-woo, right? So this is the course of action that you need to take. You need to step into this power. Okay, you're going to take a picture of this afterwards so you can keep it with you. And then what is the potential final outcome? To me, this is like one of the most beautiful cards in the deck is the Two of Cups. And this has like a really romantic connotation because of the cups. The cups is centered around emotions, right? So if the wands are passion, coins are actually not money, but material things of the material world, right? So your house, like the living things in your world. Swords is intellect and cups are feelings. Okay, so the Two of Cups is like a shared experience. So if you're talking about like, this is really between you and you, this is also between you and you, right? The Two of Cups is also between you and you, but it's a divine love is what it is. And I think ultimately, if that's what you're sharing about like overcoming the lies about yourself that you have in your mind, coming to this place of divine love is the bag.
I mean, spot on. Like, I don't even have anything to say because absolutely. My little witchy girl.
We acquired the bag.
I love you.
I think we're acquiring the bag. I love you.
The bag is acquired.
Should we call this episode "The Bag Has Been"? Wait, how did Cardi B say it?
I don't know.
No,
tell me you're the Cardi B fan.
I know I am. Secured
the bag. Bag secured.
Bag secured. We're calling this episode the bag is secured?
I think you should just be bag secured.
Bag secured? Mm-hmm. Well, you guys can vote on it afterwards. So thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah.
Isn't she a great host? Should she have her own show? I think she should. She's a great interviewer.
And like, send me a DM if I should start my own podcast.
I think she should.
At James Lee 4. No, seriously, DM me and let me know if I should start my own podcast.
Yeah, I think you should. I think you should also be like a more regular guest here.
I mean, say less. I'll come whenever you want me to.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Love you guys.
This podcast was brought to you by Sana Skin Studio. Be sure to use my code, TheNoGlow, for $25 off of your first facial at Sana when booking via sanaskinstudio.com. More than a skin studio, Sana is a movement towards healthier skin and self-love. Thank you so much for listening to The Know. If you loved this episode, go ahead and share it with a friend. Words are so powerful, and someone may need to hear what we covered today. And if you really loved this episode, please take a moment to rate the show and leave a review. Your comments are so important and valued, and they give other listeners insight on what to expect on The Know. You can connect with me personally via Instagram at Nikki Spo and The Know with Nikki Spo. My hope for you today is that you are fearless in looking inward so that you can be your highest, most authentic self and go after the life of your dreams.